We mentioned earlier in the program that there was at least the hint of a rapprochement. Now, Hillary Clinton has refused to hold that last debate in California because she feels that she's in the lead. And I mean, this is speculation on my part, but I'm quite convinced it's because she feels she's in the lead. And why potentially screw it up? This is, being extremely cautious. There are reports that Bernie Sanders is being a little bit more, less direct in his attacks on Hillary Clinton, the person, and on Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton apparently going around California, not being so direct in his attacks on Bernie Sanders. In fact, here is Hillary Clinton at the Service Employees International Union on Monday. It's at its national convention in Detroit, saying kind things about Bernie Sanders. This is clip number 1.
The only thing standing between Donald Trump and the Oval Office is all of us. We are coming to the end of the Democratic primaries. I applaud Senator Sanders and his supporters for challenging us. We are going to get unaccountable money out of politics. We are going to take on the crisis of income inequality. And we are going to unify the Democratic Party and stop Donald Trump.
And so, I mean, there you have it. I mean, take that for what it's worth. But at least there is an attempt and an acknowledgement by the Clinton people to pay some respects to these issues and to Bernie Sanders supporters. But, look, the reality is that people who are as engaged in politics as you are and as we are, and particularly whose engagement is online to a large extent, have a warped perspective of what is going on. I mean, that's just simply the reality. Outside of this world, sadly, I would say, but it's the fact, there's not a huge understanding of the differences between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. Largely speaking, the Democratic Party, Democratic voters have been from day one more or less happy to see either one the nominee. And that's it. If you look at the polling, I don't know, 60+% of Democrats feel like this has been a healthy process and it's been fine. And so I would suggest that the perspective that you hear where there's this rancor and whatnot, I don't think that's the reality of this. But it's good to see that she's extending an olive branch of sorts. My guess is it's probably lip service. It's, I think it is what it is. I mean, basically is what it comes down to it. I happen to think that, and the polls reflect this, that there are actually more Hillary or busters than there are Bernie or busters. I think that's just the reality. When you look at the polling, there are more Democrats who say they would abandon. It's not significantly more, a couple of percentage points, but for all of what we've heard. And I also, frankly, like the fact that people are a little bit woke to the idea that just because someone's in the Democratic Party, and I think there's a much more greater understanding of this, at least online, because there wasn't even that in 2008. Because 2008, let's recall, 2008, there were no policy differences between Clinton and Obama. Maybe on foreign policy, but nothing nothing that was hugely explicit. I mean, there were sort of vague sort of intonations about tone and whatnot. But Clinton and Obama in the 2008 race were much more ideologically aligned. That was very much about whether or not you felt that this race should be about race or gender. I mean, that was and people dug in much more so, I think. But if Clinton is the nominee and ultimately the president, I think, let's hope that there's been a lesson taken from this primary in that there is real danger on her left flank. That is a good thing to have the president believe. Hello, you. I'm Sam Cedar. Looking for smart progressive talk that is occasionally amusing? Well, subscribe to our YouTube feed. Subscribe to our podcast. Like us on Facebook. And just generally enjoy us.